Welcome to yet another breakdown. Now, honestly, we've got to stop meeting like this. People think something's up. Now, depending on which version of the trailer you saw, it either began with a PEGI screen or went straight to the opening with an ESRB, rating pending, slapped in the corner. The UK version showed the rating as PEGI 18, so it's safe to assume the US will stick to the series trend of M for mature. Not much of a surprise, but there you go. After an exterior shot of the Nexus, we see Scott Ryder entering what looks like the bridge of the Ark Hyperion. This is backed by dialogue between Alec Ryder and his second-in-command, Cora, about the planet they're currently approaching. Now, a side note, there has been no confirmation of Cora's voice actress yet, but she does sound a lot like Grey Delisle. Though, based on our track record for guessing voices, we're probably way off. As the camera zooms in, you can see various members of the crew, including PB working on a panel to the left, and presumably Cora behind her. Now, this is based on her hairstyle, which was seen in the briefing video released on the same day as this trailer. Speaking of hairstyles, that has got to be Liam on the right. If you've seen the briefing video, you will know that those fabulous locks of his will be instantly recognizable. We can also see a Krogan off to the right closer to the front of the bridge. It may be our squad mate Drac, but it could also be someone else since the armor is noticeably different. It is always good to have more Krogan, as long as they're on your side. As the narration continues with Alec delivering some exposition on how they are marooned, we cut to an inside shot of, we're guessing, the Nexus? It appears to be one of the cryostasis chambers such as the one shown when Sarah Ryder wakes up at the end of the first major trailer. The visual aesthetic here is impressive and slightly reminiscent of 2001: A Space Odyssey, with its perpetually rotating design. Further exposition accompanying exterior shots of the Nexus explains how the current goal is to discover a habitable planet before the Nexus loses power. We speculate that this could be the result of the events in the upcoming book, Nexus Uprising, where something goes wrong, either as an accident or from infighting. As a result, the whole station is put in this peril. The Tempest then enters an FTL jump, exiting to an imposing shot of the ship right in front of an enemy vessel. Now, this intimidating piece of machinery brings to mind the Romulan ships from the Star Trek series, due to its design and green glow. Naturally, the crew immediately realizes the threat, and in the ensuing chaos, we get our first official look at Kalo Jath, who is our Solarian pilot. After a classic black screen, we are introduced to one, if not the, main villain of the game, calling himself Archon. He immediately demands the surrender of our heroes, because of course he does. Based on the following shots of the team arming themselves and Vetra suggesting Ryder shouldn't go out there alone, we can only assume compliance is not the team's answer. It wouldn't be a Mass Effect game otherwise. Surrender is for quitters and Grey Wardens. We get a nice sweeping shot of the planet's landscape with a voiceover from Scott Ryder, lamenting how ill-equipped his squad is to deal with this new threat. He then comments on how the Archon played them and how if they're going to beat him at his own game, they need to change the rules. During this, we are treated to the big bad himself hooked up to some sort of machine, the purpose of which is unknown, and then a great shot of the squad together, minus Vetra, sadly. The machine hooked up to the Archon appears to be in the middle of a vault. This inspires a bit of speculation that it might be mirroring certain elements of the first game. Maybe the Archon uses the ancient technology to keep his advantage, and eventually, Ryder learns how to use it. After a short clip of the Tempest shuttle landing on what looks like another ship, we see Scott Ryder exiting onto a planet with his hands up in the air, as he is surrounded by the blue alien race that we've seen in earlier footage. Oh, and if you are unaware, this new race is called the Angara. We hear a voiceover by who we're assuming is actress Claudia Black, a veteran voice artist of various BioWare games, supposedly playing one of these new aliens, commenting on this new race coming to them from another galaxy. Now, the alien that Ryder approaches appears to be an important character, as he already has a Funko Pop figure scheduled for release. Based on this, we know that the character's name is Jaal. Now, if it's pronounced that way, we are unsure, but it's a pretty good guess with how the spelling is. Also, good news for those of you who've been curious, which, admit it, you kinda are. Ian Fraser and Michael Gamble of BioWare have both confirmed that you can totally get all lovey-dovey with at least one of these aliens. Now, you gotta hand it to BioWare, they do know what the fans want. Now, let's just take a moment to appreciate the next scene. Scott Ryder is standing face to face with someone, then you hear the words that we'll all be quoting for at least a month.
I don't need an army, I've got a Krogan.
Then we see Drac doing several things we hope to see much of during the game. punching, slamming, and sounding super cool thanks to Stanley Townsend lending his gravelly tones to the character. This is followed by our first look at a romance scene, with Scott and Cora sharing a special moment with each other. Next, we switch to PB frantically running and shouting that the team's cover is blown, followed by Liam boasting some enjoyable bravado with a cliched but still enjoyable line, "They want to fight? We'll give it to them." The climax of the trailer reaches its own climax as the Tempest is shown being pursued by an unknown ship through some sort of celestial obstacle. It is kinda hard to tell what that is surrounding them, but the engulfing smoke and fire look very imposing. As the Tempest breaks free from this unknown entity, the music fades and the title makes an appearance. Now, just before the trailer truly ends, however, we get a small bit featuring Liam saying to Ryder, "We've been waiting 600 years for this," in an eager and excited tone. He is ready for whatever ahead, and so are we. It certainly feels like 600 years, doesn't it? Well, don't worry, we are less than 2 months away from the release of the game. We can make it. So, what did you think of this new trailer? Did it clear up a little bit of mystery for you? Do you still have more questions about what to expect? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you are there, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.